Hi, gang. It's Patrick.
And Kale.
Coming up on today's episode, we practice gratitude with our Fab 5 Disney moments we're thankful for. As always, we discuss the latest Disney news, and we close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Kale, putting the tood in gratitude, English.
Ooh, I love putting the tood in gratitude.
That's right. You got to have a little sass with your gratitude sometimes.
Yeah, you could have just said putting the attitude in gratitude. But
no,
I like that.
I like tood. I like to pretend I'm in 1989 and we're like shortening some words that are, slap them on t-shirts.
I am here for, what's the one that I heard the other day? I have been through. And the shortening of just phrases in general, because they still make sense.
I don't have time to say the word it.
No, I have been through.
And
there was another. So this was years and years ago, but there was something where someone used to say, "She is so," and that was it.
She is
so it could be good, bad. Yeah, I was always up for. No, I'm all for. I love the shortening of phrases and words. Okay. Patrick, guess I could just go back to the Dairy Queen, you know. They said they'd take me back. Always have a place at the Dairy Queen. Kazuki.
Oh, Parker Posey.
I know.
Can do no wrong, specifically in Waiting for Guffman.
It's so good. Who was it the other day? I got the inspiration for this one because we were watching me and I think it was Mark, were watching something on YouTube and someone mentioned Waiting for Guffman, and I immediately started quoting it, and he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "You've never heard or seen of Waiting for Guffman?" And then he was like, "No, is it amazing?" And then I went through the thing of like, well, negative. It's one of those things that it's amazing because of it. It's not supposed to be an Oscar-worthy film.
I wonder if people who watch it for the first time now will really get it because it was so new
so in
of its time. Yeah. But it's such a classic. You know, New York is just an island full of guys, lots of people, lots of Italian guys.
It's so good.
What a stupid movie.
It is, because it's, I mean, I love how his movies specifically, like all those like mockumentary style movies he does, how they all, the stakes are so high for something so incredibly low. But do you remember being a teenager and when you would be doing like a school musical or a community musical, and it was like you were convinced that someone in the audience was going to see you and they were going to be like, "That boy is a star. Let's get him to Carnegie Hall ASAP," right? That's why the movie to me is so great, because I remember being like 16 and having the thought of like, this is my moment. Someone is going to see me here at the Social Circle Community Theater playing Boy Number 4. And
Absolutely.
That's
That's my favorite kind of comedy, though, and he does it so well. Christopher Guest, we're talking
perfect.
about.
Yeah.
In that these people are so serious about what they're doing. They don't think they're being funny. They don't think that they're being weird or awkward. No. It's all very intentional and purposeful, and that's... it's so beautiful. That comedy is so
I was literally
delicious.
about to say beautiful. It is truly beautiful. And
really
comedy.
hard to do, too. Like, all of those actors are genius at what they're doing in those movies. So good.
Completely. Parker Posey, my goodness.
I mean, let's just... Okay. All right. We have to get into the episode.
Reset.
I'm excited to do this episode with you, Kale, because... So, full disclosure, we're recording this episode early. So this is the Sunday after the election, everybody. Mm-hmm. We're recording it early. I'm going to be in Disney World when this episode drops. And so that's
I will be in a blackout.
How podcasting works. So, who can say? Who can say? Kale will be in an alley somewhere figuring stuff out.
Right.
Who knows?
Getting my S together.
So we're sort of dedicating this episode, right, to positive energy where we can find it, and finding gratitude in times when we especially need it.
Absolutely.
So this this whole episode is going to be based in our reality of where we are right now, what we're feeling right now. Mm-hmm. We're not going to sugarcoat anything necessarily, but it is going to be hopefully a good vibes episode for all of you. I think we all need something like this today.
Absolutely. I will agree. Gratitude is what is fueling us all at the moment, I think.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. And if not, you know what? That's okay too, right?
It is. Your attitude. Gratitude and attitude.
And your tude. So that being said, Kale, how are you?
So in the spirit of gratitude, things did not go my way, right?
Well.
And I think that one of the things, and this was pretty immediate. This was, and I was actually really proud of myself because it's very easy to sort of spiral, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that I keep reminding myself of my support system and how absolutely incredible it is. Mm-hmm. I have Mark and Roger, who I was lucky enough to get to sit next to on the couch on Tuesday night. I have the podcast co-host, which to me is remarkable because you couldn't have, in my opinion, 4 different people that are all very supportive of one another. You and I even, we talked on the phone a couple of days prior about some anxieties we were having. We talked throughout that night via text message. We touched base a couple times right after.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing good. I'm reminding myself, right, that that I have a really, really incredible support system and community. And it reminds me that I need to be that for somebody else, right, who doesn't have one. All too many, unfortunately, there are people out there that don't have the support system I do. And so I think that's sort of, I've tried to do, a lot of checking in with people and, being very vague, right?
Yeah.
But sort of, just sending good vibes, sending you a virtual hug, that sort of thing. And I think that sometimes that makes all the difference. And sometimes people will write back and say, sending you one too, or they will completely unload. And that's part of that's part of the process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being a support system is being a support system for little things and big things. And so, yes. How are you doing?
Yeah, how do we ever answer this question anymore? It's up and down. So here's how I have been answering it, and here's how I'll answer it right now. Today I'm good, Kale. Today I'm okay.
Of course,
I've been looking forward to this because I love doing the podcast. I love
Same.
talking to you. I love talking to my friends. I had a good run this morning training for the marathon, so that's always a good way for me personally to start out a day is to get those endorphins up and get that hard work out of the way early in the morning. I'm ups and downs for sure. I think, not to go too deep or too personal, but I think it's important that people can relate to us. And so like full transparency, like I am having difficult conversations with some family and some friends about how do we move forward, knowing what I know about voting habits or political beliefs, etc. And so
completely. I think a lot of us are in that boat right now as well. But
yep. Yes. And I don't know the answer. I don't know how to really navigate it. But other than, doing the work, I think that's where I am right now, in a headspace of it's time to do the work. Not that we haven't been doing the work before, and not that the work wouldn't have needed to continue had the election gone the other way. The work wouldn't have stopped. But I think now our work is reprioritized now a little bit differently. And so,
absolutely. I agree. And it's, I feel I'm not a person typically that's, overly mushy, but I feel like that girl in Mean Girls who's like, I just wish we could bake a cake of rainbows and eat it and be happy. And that sort of is sort of where I've been for about 3 days.
Yeah.
But you're right. You also have to, push the cake away after you've eaten your healthy amount, right?
Yeah.
And then, roll your sleeves up and get to work.
Absolutely. I want to message this to all of our Tweedles out there, and I think you and I are on the same page about this. In fact, we've been talking about it a little bit lately, in that whatever you're going through, it is deeply personal to you, and do not allow anybody to tell you how to process your emotions.
No.
Right? If you're feeling angry right now, feel bleeping angry. I don't want to use the bleep button because that's too much editing for me. But you feel that. If you're feeling, very hopeful, feel very hopeful. Whatever you're feeling and however you're dealing, as long as it's safe for you and safe for others, feel that way and behave that way accordingly. And take it minute by minute. Day by day is a little bit too much sometimes. Take it minute by minute. And
absolutely.
That's okay.
And I will also say, if you're steadfast and strong-willed in the way that you feel about things, don't let someone try and justify all of this to you, right? Say, what, not right now, or say, what, never.
Yeah.
Don't allow anybody to try to persuade you to make you feel any other way if
exactly
the way that you feel is how you feel.
Exactly. And another thing I wanted to touch on real quick is we're not political commentators professionally necessarily. You know what I mean? Like, who knows why this election turned out the way it did? We're going to be digging through it for a very long time. And so bear with the world, bear with yourselves, give everybody grace. But I feel like some blame has been cast lately on the fact that Democrats maybe were focusing too much on individuality and too much on LGBT community, the Black community, the BIPOC community, whatever you may be other than the white male community. Don't listen to that. Don't let them make you the first scapegoat in why this election turned out the way it was. It is not accurate. It is not true. It is not the whole truth at the very least. Do what you need to do, and if that is your belief, that is your belief. It is my belief that is not the reason, and that we should not ever take our foot off the gas pedal when it comes to human rights.
I will completely agree. I think that's the one thing that I would recommend. I know I just said everybody feel however you want to feel, but I will say I would recommend just sort of, even not I'm not saying that you have to accept it and respect it, right? But just know what the outcome is, and it's fine however it came about. Right? Just know there's work to be done because of the outcome. It doesn't matter how we got there. It matters how we get out of it.
That's right. So, all that being said,
yes,
we know there are some resources out there. If you need them, we're always advocates for self-care, but also advocates for seeking help when you need help. Sometimes yourself isn't enough to get you through the day, and that's okay. So find help where you need it and where it's available to you. A couple of resources that we always have at the ready here at Gaze Do the D is one, the Trevor Project. You all know that we're a big advocate of the Trevor Project. If you or someone needs to use their resources, they are generally geared toward the younger LGBTQ plus community, but anyone can call them and they can direct you in a different place if needed. But their phone number is 1-866-488-7386. Or if you don't want to talk on the phone, they have an excellent community of counselors who are available via text. And you can have a full conversation with them over a text. All you have to do is text the word START, START, to 678-678. An amazing resource. Also, there's the Trans Lifeline, which is 877-565-8860. And then there is the General LGBT National Help Center, who are full of resources that they can point you in the right direction toward by calling 888-843-4564. We'll put those numbers in our show notes as well. I recommend keeping them in your phone. If you ever need them, or if someone in your life ever needs them, you just have it at the ready to send along.
Absolutely. We love you all.
We do love you all, but not enough to record an episode next week, just to let you know. Just kidding. No, but we also need a break here sometimes at Gaze Through the D, and so we are, before we get into everything else, we are going to be taking a week off. So the next episode you hear after this will actually be a repeat episode, which will be released. I'm hoping to release it on Thanksgiving Day for those of you who maybe need to have something something to listen to while you're avoiding family, maybe. Who knows? It might be a particularly difficult Thanksgiving for some of you this year, and that's okay. But we are going to re-release an episode, one that we love. I think it's probably the first episode that all four of us were on together at the same time, talking about Hocus Pocus, I believe.
Oh, nice. The very first Coven episode.
The very first Coven episode, a fan favorite.
Chaos.
It's absolute
fan favorite.
And buffoonery. So hopefully you will enjoy that episode again and maybe hear some new things that you hadn't heard before. But we love you. We hope you're having a happy Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving, whatever you celebrate in the month of November.
Yes, absolutely.
Oof.
I know. And with that, we also decided we were going to change things up a little bit on this episode. Instead of I'm celebrating, we have a new segment called My Gratitude.
That's right. We and probably just for this week only. And maybe we'll do it once a year or something.
No,
or as needed. This time only. Okay, fair enough.
No, yes, always.
But all of you, you sent us your gratitudes. I want to give a caveat. Most of these were sent in before the election, so just a heads up there. As you're listening to them, I didn't edit any of these. I didn't get all of them though, so just wanted to put that out there. Kale, do you want to kick us into my gratitude for the week?
I absolutely will.
Thank you.
The Disney Parks teacher, our dear friend Jeff. Grateful for my friends Patrick and Kale, who I can message words of encouragement with during an anxiety-inducing election. This is true. There was a group chat with the three of us sending support and love, and it was definitely the highlight of the night, if not the only good thing.
Well, and I think at some point, all of us just sort of put our phones down.
Stopped talking.
And it was just silence.
Yeah.
And
there was not
we all were aware. We're like,
not a bye. Oh, yeah. It was.
I think we're done for the night here. Yeah.
It just died. Yeah.
I imagine that was happening all over this land.
All over.
Moving on, we have at Ms. Melanie 23 saying, being out of the country on election day, girl needs an ocean's distance from that stress. Ooh, yes. I wish. Well done.
So does that mean where did you so what country did you go to? Because if you knew the outcome before us, then
are you still there? I don't blame you.
Right. At Bethany_A30, my sausage dog, Sully, sending all my love to you with the result of the U.S. election. Well, thank you so much. And I would love to see pictures of this sausage dog, Sully.
Yes, please. That's such a cute name. And I love little sausage dogs, little wiener dogs. They're the funniest creatures in the world.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why they exist.
I love, so Punzel, my pup, she's half Chihuahua, half Dachshund, and I call her Wiener.
And she's a full idiot.
You used to call her something, what was it, Punzelhead?
I don't remember.
Punzelhead. I think
I call her, could you tell her to shut up? That's what I call her.
Okay.
The loud one in the corner.
Right.
Moving on, we have at Paging Mr. Olives saying, grateful for podcasts like yours, which temporarily takes my mind off of work and the election.
Same.
Fair.
Yes,
you know what?
You
know what? We'll take temporary. Temporary relief is so much better than no relief at all.
Absolutely. Yes. Completely. At Justin_Philip, my husband, my family, and my friends.
Aww.
Very good.
Thank you for that. Sending our love to your husband, your family, and your friends as well.
Yes.
Moving on, we have at Character Bows and Boutique, celebrating being able to make side money doing something that relaxes me. Crafting. Okay. Send us some pictures of what you're doing. Let us know. Do you need us to help support you? Because maybe we will. Tell us who you voted for first, though. Just kidding.
I'm not kidding. I'm joking. At Silent Tommy, being gay. Here.
Work.
Yes.
Absolutely. Don't you stop.
Don't you stop it.
Absolutely. And then finally, we have at Hibdonde celebrating, I'm grateful for my chosen family. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We're big advocates of that here at Gays
Absolutely we are.
Though you're related to somebody, doesn't make them your family.
Sure don't.
You get to choose who's in your family.
Yep.
And all of you are in our family here at GDTD, so thank you for being part of it.
Thank you.
Aw, I love it. That felt really good. I needed that, man.
I needed that too. I needed that too. Like specifically, Silent Tommy's being gay. It made me. I sneezed a rainbow. But.
Celebrating that. Okay, Kale. Before we get into the news, are you ready for this week in Disney history?
I am ready.
Let's do it, Kale.
Okay.
99 years ago, on November 17th, 1925, this film and TV heartthrob was born in Winnetka, Illinois. He has the distinction of being the very first narrator of the Candlelight Processional in Disney World in 1971. Do you know who it is?
Oh my gosh. Ooh. Dick Van Dyke.
I'm going to go ahead and say that that's a negative. You don't know who this is.
No, I don't know who it is.
He also incidentally narrated the program in 1973, 1974, 1977, and 1980.
I have no idea.
Well, that's okay. I think it's ironic that he was the very first narrator of the Disney World Candlelight Processional, because it turns out he was real gay. That people didn't know about it until later on in life. Does that help you out at all?
I mean, there's a Rock Hudson, Marlon Brando.
Ding, ding, ding. It was Rock Hudson.
Was it Rock Hudson?
Yes.
I would never in a jillion years thought that he would have done the Candlelight Processional.
Don't you love that? Don't you love
I do.
knowing? Not only he was the first one to do it in Disney World. Like,
I mean, but the first one, and then did it several times.
Many times later. Absolutely.
Man, those castle walls could talk.
He loved to do it. Yeah, listen. Oh, Rock Hudson. Well done, sir. All right, moving on, Kale. 96 years ago, on November 18th, 1928, Disney hit one of their most significant historical milestones. Do you know yet what it is?
So what was the year again?
1928.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Would you share with the class?
This was the debut of Mickey Mouse.
More specifically...
Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie. Not Mickey Mouse, but Steamboat Willie.
Sorry,
it was the premiere of the short film Steamboat Willie, which was the first appearance of Minnie Mouse, though.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're correct. I see what you're saying.
I am very correct. But it was the very first Mickey Mouse short with sound as well, but not the very first time Mickey Mouse appeared. It debuted at Universal's Colony Theater in New York City, and it was shown as a preview before the film called Gang War, of course, obviously.
Oh, well... Of course.
And I don't know if many people may know this and many people may not, but Walt Disney himself provided the full vocal track for all of the characters in Steamboat Willie.
So that is actually interesting, because I knew that he did Mickey Mouse. I did not know he was the full character voice for all of them.
He was the only vocal actor in the film was Walt Disney himself. So happy birthday to Steamboat Willie as a film.
Happy birthday, Steamboat Willie.
Well done. All right, Kale, are you ready to get into the news that is not
I am ready.
The other news that we don't want to talk about right now? Okay, good.
Yes. Good news, talking about good news.
Oh, you added a word. I like it.
I did. It felt appropriate today.
Yeah, let's be very distinctive in that we're sharing good news today.
Yes. Do you have some news?
Of course I have some news. Do you have some news? Is this a new bit?
I do have some news. No.
Hey, Kale, do you have some news?
Do you have some news?
And a cup of sugar?
Do you want to tell us yours?
I would, but why don't you tell us yours first? Unless you want me to go first. Do you want to end with yours?
No, it doesn't matter. Yours was first in the spreadsheet, so thanks for making this so awkward.
Clearly unrehearsed, everybody. This is our first time. I'm so embarrassed.
Ever doing the first podcast, guys. Are you ready?
I don't think I am anymore. Let's try it. Let's see what happens.
Disney World just unveiled 13 villains set to terrorize your wallets in its upcoming Twisted Villains Land. And let's just say, if you were hoping for a happily ever after, Think again. This new realm promises all the doom, gloom, and excessive souvenir prices that Disney fans could possibly dream of. Prepare your wallets and souls, because Disney World's new Villains Land is about to drain them faster than Pennsylvania to our hopes and dreams.
Wow.
This twisted new area at Magic Kingdom will unite 13 of Disney's most delightfully despicable villains in one gloriously dark storyline, inviting guests into a land where evil is the only thing that grows. Disney Parks head Josh D'Amaro, dressed in possibly the most wickedly overpriced suit imaginable, announced even juicier details about the expansion at the D23 Brazil convention. Their evil ambitions are just the start. We've got endless ways to take your money. I mean, tell new stories, he joked while gesturing towards a lineup of Disney's most infamous characters. This is a joke. That is not a direct quote from Josh D'Amaro, by the way.
It seems clear.
Yes. So expect to see all of your least favorite animated antagonists, including the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, Jafar from Aladdin, Lady Tremaine from Cinderella, Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove, Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, Captain Hook from Peter Pan, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, Mother Gothel from Tangled, Ursula from The Little Mermaid, Hades from Hercules, Chernabog from Fantasia, and both versions of the Evil Queen from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and Maleficent.
What a lineup.
Yeah, that's nice, right? Yeah, it seems really like cool. This is going to be pretty immersive.
I mean, you would hope so. I mean, if it's not, then what are we even doing with our lives?
I'm leaving. Right.
Do you think Chernabog's going to be hot?
What do you mean, do I think? What do you mean, do I think gonna be? Okay.
They better not ruin him and make it like way too like overly done or, you know.
Absolutely not. It best not be some person painted dark blue. like I will flip a table.
I mean, unless they're what? Then in which case, paint
absolutely.
Him.
But I feel like what I need is for it to be like, I need for his body to be the texture of almost like plasti dip. Do you know what I mean? Because there would be something about that sensation that would be as nice as visual. Do you know what I mean?
I do. Unfortunately,
I'm here for Chernabog. I am here for Chernabog.
Absolutely, he can churn my bog anytime.
The most beautiful that was. I'm speechless. That was. I had a joke ready to go, and it is gone.
It's so gone. Ruined. Good news. Talking about good news.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Very exciting stuff. More to come on the Villains Land. I have some news that is interesting, but maybe not good for fans of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So bear with me on this one, folks. So, as I said, fans of Who Framed Roger Rabbit got some interesting news recently when director Robert Zemeckis gave an interview on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. I'm obsessed with that title, by the way. Happy, Sad, Confused.
I know.
That's just me all in one day. I love it. You know? So, when asked about a potential sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Zemeckis backed up the rumors that Disney actually does have and this is a quote, good script on its hands. So, back in 2016, he discussed the very same topic, saying the script would be more of a continuation of Roger and Jessica's story, bringing them out of the film noir period and into the cinema of 1950s. Sounds incredible.
Ooh.
However, this recent interview, he also went on to say that it, quote, isn't ever going to see the light of day.
Okay.
End quote. All right, listen, we like some truth. We like some coffee and some truth. I like it. So he then went on to talk about how it's likely that today Disney would never make Who Framed Roger Rabbit, at least not in the way it was originally made. His explanation was that Disney, for better or worse, isn't in a position to take the risk to make a sexier, grittier animated movie like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. One example he gave was the update to the Roger Rabbit ride in Disneyland, saying, quote, they can't make a movie with Jessica in it. Look at what they did to Jessica at the theme park. They trussed her up in a trench coat. End quote. I don't disagree. They definitely covered her up. Absolutely.
Yes, completely.
So, yeah, I agree. They would never. Anyways, let's go on. So, Zemeckis went on to say that when he made the movie in 1988, Disney was, quote, ready to rebuild itself. He then said, we were there when that new regime came in, and they were full of energy, and they wanted to do it. I kept saying, and I sincerely say this, I do believe this, I'm making Roger Rabbit the way I believe Walt Disney would have made it. The reason I say that is because Walt Disney never made any of his movies for children. He always made them for adults. And that's what I decided to do with Roger Rabbit. End quote. So kind of interesting news.
People is have interesting been news.
Curious about this for a very long time. So I wonder if he's correct or is this a call to action to maybe Disney or one of their subsidiary companies to do this film? Is it a challenge? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, and this is not, when I say this, it's going to sound like a joke, and maybe it like half is, but we have some Pixar characters that are only just slightly more dressed than Jessica Rabbit, but curves in all the right places. We have the Inside Out dad who, I mean, come on. Okay. But I will say, I think that we sort of just saw... I think that I wish that Disney would sort of take note specifically from the Beetlejuice sequel that came out years later. You know, Tim Burton specifically said, he was like, Beetlejuice is supposed to be a character that is not politically correct. Therefore, his humor and attitude is going to be the same, even though there are things that sort of make you want to cover your eyes or cover your ears when he says them. That's the character of Beetlejuice. And we saw that was successful, right?
Yeah.
I kind of say go for it.
I don't disagree. I mean... Listen, I don't think there's... Listen, how do I say this without being canceled? Or, come for him if you want to, but I don't think this is speaking out of turn or anything. Like, what's wrong with having a voluptuous, sexy, strong female character?
Right.
Jessica Rabbit was not in the back seat necessarily, as it were. You know what I mean? Like, she was running stuff as well. No. Like, she was a smart, badass woman. And so, yeah, I'm interested in... if this script will actually ever see the light of day. It sounds like it's not going to, but if there's a really good script out there, what are we doing? Why would you not?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
I mean, yeah, you know me. I'm a huge fan of Roger Rabbit, so I'm, of course, going to be on that side of it.
love Roger Rabbit. But it is funny because I didn't start thinking about this until you mentioned it, but any representation of Jessica Rabbit, she's never in that... like red dress alone. Like I think you bought me, I think like a Jessica Rabbit pin several years ago and she's dressed up in like a diner outfit, which, do you get what I'm saying? Like I think that they like intentionally try to like, be like, here, if you like Jessica Rabbit, but please
there's a couple of them out there, but they're not, I mean, she's in the red dress usually, but it's not like cleavage hanging out. You know what I mean? It's not the way that she was drawn in the movie for sure. It's a little bit PG-13'd up, but yeah.
I'm here for it. I say do it.
I say do it. Go for it.
You know what I say? I say in the film, give her an OnlyFans.
Wow.
Yep.
And Roger. Give him one too. I mean,
why not? Come, let's go.
Well, Kale, if there's one thing you and I love to do, it's Fab 5 episodes.
It is a Fab 5 episode.
If there's two things we like to do, it's drink heavily and record Fab 5 episode.
It is drink heavily, often at the same time.
Who can say? Sometimes at the same time. I'm doing the opposite right now. Have you ever had this? It's called mud water. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't.
It's a coffee alternative, but it's made with like a mushroom mix, basically.
Ooh, does it taste mushroomy?
It does. It very much does.
I feel like I would love it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. It's definitely not a flavor of coffee though, so you have to zhuzh it up if you don't like the flavor of mushrooms.
Sure.
Anyways,
so let me ask you this though: why a coffee alternative?
I don't know. I'm just mixing things up.
Nice. That wasn't a judgmental question, but nice. That's cool.
In these new days, it's a new Patrick. Patrick is just trying stuff out and see what happens. You know.
Nice.
Yeah, and you know what I am? I'm grateful for this mud water in my hand.
I am grateful for yes, grateful for the mud water in your hand as well.
Which brings me to our Fab 5 episode, Kale. As we said at the top of the episode, we're bringing you gratitude today. So, Kale and I thought we would do a Fab 5 episode of things that we are thankful for when it comes to Disney. Things in the parks, maybe it's movies, maybe it's music, maybe it's experiences we've had, maybe it's people. Who can say? The door is wide open.
It is
wide open. I'm interested to know what you did, because this was a very broad broad stroke
it was
of
broad.
a topic.
Yeah. Well, and we had, so you and I had talked about this prior to, I know that we keep circling back, but we had talked about this sort of prior to Tuesday. This was sort of what we decided. I didn't start building my list until after Tuesday.
Okay,
and
fair.
I feel like my list is sort of reflective of current events, and and I only have these. These could essentially be in any order. I do have one that I will say for the end, though.
Ooh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, do you want to kick us off, or do you want me to start first then?
I can kick us off for sure.
Do it. Please do.
Okay, will do. So this is one... Perfect. This is one that was also on my list of when we did the Fab Five gayest Disney moments.
Okay, yeah.
And this is Little April Shower, because I do feel like Little April Shower is just encrusted with gay culture all over it.
Yes.
But also the vibe of, starting off very happy, and then within the song a storm comes and it becomes a little deep, a little dark, and then by the end of it we're just another little April shower.
Aww.
And everything's fine. And that very grateful for that. I loved the Little April Shower sequence as a kid. I don't know why. I know that's the weirdest sequence as a kid specifically.
That song is such a tune as well. It's just such a lovely... I mean, it's simple, yet it's an earworm, but it's beautiful and it's sweeping, and it's, I don't know. It's just got a lot of like innocence and sophistication behind it, if that makes sense.
Completely. I wish somebody would do like a high bass version of it. just boom 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 boom. You know what I mean?
Snap. Yeah.
Like, for real. I'm serious. I think about it all the time.
I want that to come on in a club and someone just goes, yeah, April Showers.
It's me. I jump off the balcony into a split in the middle of it. Yeah.
Hold my drink, I gotta dance. Yeah. Amazing. I love that. I love those little moments in your Disney references that it just brings you back and it makes you feel good inside,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'll bring us to that same spot then with more of a place instead of a song, in that I am super grateful and thankful for, and this goes to any parks that I've been to, but Main Street in a Disney park.
Okay.
I think just is that comfort zone, and that sort of, I don't know how to best describe it, so bear with me, but it you know that feeling that where you're walking into Main Street and you're absolutely in Disney, and the music is there and the people are like still fresh in their days, and things still smell fresh and look beautiful, and that what's ahead of you is going to be a really fun day. But what's
absolutely
in front of you right now is just this anticipation and this really comforting moment, especially in Disneyland, where like this is a really specific spot where Walt spent a lot of time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's a very romantic, and I don't mean that in a romance kind of a way. I just mean like in just sort of a all-encompassing, just a beautiful place that I could sit in a Main Street in any of the Disney parks for the afternoon, just eating popcorn, having a soda, watching people go by, watching Mickey come up on the train set. It's just anything can happen in Main Street. I
will agree. There is a solace of Main Street, even with the chaos, right?
Sure. There's that's kind of the fun of it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The passerbyers for your day.
Yes. It's sort of the backyard Times Square.
There you go. Yes. Especially when they play the soundtrack from Hello Dolly, then I'm really
which I
really
always
in my moment.
I know. I always love when they do it, but it is a choice, right?
Yeah. Like it's on Disney Plus now, Hello Dolly. So
is it?
It is.
Nice.
Trust that I know that.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my next one will be, and this is something that I talk about a lot whenever this movie is referenced, but the friendships in Luca.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do too. Whether I know that we've talked about how they're, I always feel as though they're very open to interpretation. I know that there are a lot of people who sort of, see this same-sex relationship blossoming, and then there are people like me who just think that these two young men are friends, and I totally think we should celebrate that type of platonic friendship between two men.
Yeah.
And I mean, even with, Julia in the film, the way that she sort of looks out for him, they sort of look out for her.
Yeah.
I don't know. It speaks to me right now more than it ever sort of has. And I think it's important. And Luca is such a feel good movie. I would recommend putting that one on if you're feeling a little bit down.
It's true. I often describe the movie Luca as like when you tear into your favorite bag of candy that you haven't had in a while.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just so yummy and full of joy and sweetness and just I don't know. It's just a really and I mean that visually too. Like it's just like an eye candy as well.
Absolutely.
Visually.
Yes.
And the storylines are so superb in it. It's such a gem of a movie that I hope
it is a true gem of a movie.
Disney and or Pixar lean into more as we move forward for people who need stories like that more and more,
I completely agree.
Good choice. All right. My number 2 is going to be, I am thankful for the pairing of Howard Ashman and Alan Menken in all of our lives.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm completely.
I'm just so thankful. Like, where would we be? And I really mean this. I know it's going to sound hyperbolic, but like, where would we be right now without what they gifted us I'm getting emotional. Without what they gifted us into the world,
you're absolutely correct.
These two wonderful, brilliant, extraordinary men gave us a childhood. They really
absolutely they did
changed the course of a lot of our histories in life because of these beautiful stories that they were telling. And you have to give credit to people who wrote the movies as well. But I think these movies would not have been what they were. I'm talking about The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, etc. Like we wouldn't be in the place we are now through Disney, and then through ourselves as well because of Disney, without what they gave us in the world. So thank you to wherever you are right now, Howard Ashman, and thank you, Alan Menken, for your contributions to all of our lives.
So that is such a good one. And they not only Howard Ashman, did he sort of change the format of a movie musical? He also sort of, showed us what modern day theater really is, which is hysterical that you just said that, because my next one was Disney on Broadway. I'm dead serious. And that was sort of my mindset going into it, right? I mean, just as a kid, the combination of both of those things, seeing live theater, seeing your favorite characters. I know that there have been a couple of times where Disney hasn't exactly hit the nail on the head. I stand by Little Mermaid was not the greatest Broadway venture, but
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? But I think about Beauty and the Beast, the musical, and the people that it employs on Broadway, right? The stage hands and the dancers and the actors and the actresses and I'm super thankful for that, because I truly love the theater community. And so that was sort of, I don't know if I've ever sat through a production of The Lion King without crying. Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. But I do believe that theater brings us together. I think that theater is supposed to be, something transformative and something, that makes us think. And I love how even with these movies that we've seen repeatedly, we still leave a Broadway theater seeing a musical that we know all the music to and the full storyline, and we're thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
And so that was why that made my list.
I love that. I love it so much that it was also my number 3 was Disney.
You are lying. Are you serious?
It's literally my number 3 spot as well.
That is so. This is the first time that our lists
in a while
ever,
and specifically in the same spot.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hysterical. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I mean everything you just said, all of that. Man, I feel like I'm on the verge of tears this entire episode. So
Same.
bear with me. And
I'll
full on cry eventually. But
same. I feel like I'm trying. Like I'm not being funny because
it's just needed. It's just needed, man. But yeah, you're not wrong. And I love. And this happens at the orchestra a lot too when they show Disney movies at the orchestra. But it happens sometimes in these Broadway theaters or when they're on tour. You can tell, and sometimes they actually ask you in the audience before the show starts, how many people is this your first time seeing a Broadway show or first time being at the orchestra or whatever? And the amount of hands that goes up is so inspiring. And then they're going to see theater and having their first theater experience because of Disney, because Disney also knows how important this entertainment is, that theater, where art lives, communities thrive. That's just a given.
Yes.
And when times are dark politically, people turn to the theater and to art for inspiration and for moments of hope. So I hope that you are in a position to go see any theater at all. It doesn't have to be on Broadway. A lot of local community theaters are doing The Little Mermaid right now. We're doing Aladdin because they're out there, and Frozen, Peter and the Starcatcher. Go see a production of Peter and the Starcatcher.
You were in a
Disney theatrical. Peter and the Starcatcher, yeah. It was one of my favorite. Life-changing shows. It's so inspirational. It's the story of how Peter Pan became Peter Pan, basically, and Disney theatrical put it on. So yeah, Disney on Broadway. Thank you for what you've done for the Broadway community. I mean, who knows if some of Broadway would have, been around still because of the money that they brought in for Broadway.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like that's considered a part of history, right? Didn't Lion King and Beauty and the Beast sort of, don't they say those two sort of single-handedly
brought it back and revitalized
New York theater for a while? Yeah.
I think wasn't The Lion King the first show back on Broadway after the pandemic as well?
It sure was. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. They understand how important it is to employ all these people and to also bring joy to people's lives. So Disney on Broadway. Oof. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Two more. We got to get through it.
Okay. This one, I'm gonna try not to make eye contact with you for this one. I'm sorry.
We're on Zoom, so you can't. So,
yeah. So my number, I guess this is 2. Or if we're counting backwards, is the film Better Nate Than Never?
Oh, God,
I just feel like listen, I know that a lot of people really, really love this film. If you haven't seen this film, I just implore you to watch it as soon as possible. I implore you to have your children watch it, your niece and nephews watch it, your next door neighbors watch it. This film. I mean, I don't know if I've ever been tugged at the heartstrings so deeply,
insanely.
Very much so. And to be honest with you, there's such a amazing message. It's so beautiful, and they do it in a way where it's not telling you what to think. It's not in a political way. Do you know what I mean? It's just all based on love and support. And that's what we need the most of.
Oh my God. It's a representation of what love can look like.
Completely.
When done correctly.
Yep.
in families,
What it's supposed to look like.
What it's supposed to look like. I will say I am not thankful that Disney Plus no longer has this on it anymore. So you do have to go seek it out. I think you can purchase it in some places.
You can purchase it on iTunes, I believe, but it is disappointing that it is no longer on Disney Plus.
Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Yeah. However, I mean, ooh, boy, that movie got me. It got me in 2 ways. It got me in like, I feel so seen, and it also made me weep with joy during it the entire time.
Completely. A truly beautiful movie.
From credit to credit. Just everyone. So well done, everyone involved in that movie. Good choice.
Thank you.
Okay, number 2 for me, my penultimate thankful on this episode, anyways, is Run Disney. I had to put Run Disney in there.
Very, very good
for so many reasons. I mean, Run Disney 100% changed my life. Both physically and emotionally, right? Like it definitely got me moving again. It got me motivated again. It got me to a healthier place in my life. And it also brought some of the very dearest people in my life to me through Run Disney. I mean, you all know who you are, Justin, of course, and Jack,
right
and Laddie, and Nick, and Dave,
right here.
and Kale when we do our Run Disney, our Run Distance. Remember Run Distance?
I do remember Run Distance. That seems like a lifetime ago.
It was a lifetime ago. I loved doing that though with you.
I did too. That was so much fun.
Yeah, and now my friends Kevin and Brian, and also having John Pelkey on the podcast and Riley Claremont recently on the podcast. It would be the pleasure and the joy of meeting those two beautiful human beings was so fun. I can't say enough about Run Disney and truly how much it has impacted and continues to lead my life, really. Like I seek it out for joy, and though I don't love running, I do love Run Disney. And so it gives me a reason it gives me something to look forward to, I guess.
I'm honestly very glad to hear you finally say that, because I feel like you've never just flat out looked at me and said, I don't like running. But because I've often wondered, like, why do I hate it so much? Because I do run regularly, but I can tell you at any given point, like the 15 minutes leading up to it, when I'm putting on the socks and the shoes, I could be talked out of it in a heartbeat. I'm not kidding.
100%. Yeah.
Like
if my dog looks at me weird, I'm like, I can't go running today. The dog looks a little sick. Yeah.
Same. I could get a junk email and I'll be like, well, I have to delete that. So I probably am not going for a run today, right?
For sure.
But it's like, and I always feel good like after it, but I can tell you I have never looked forward to a run.
No, yeah, running is interesting in that, for me, anyways, this is all for me. I'm oftentimes a journey, not the destination, but for running, it is the destination, not the journey, that the accomplishment I get afterwards is the reward for me. And everything else, are gifts that, like meeting my new friends, people in my life, loved ones, are all gifts along the way, but the accomplishment of doing it is really is sort of the why, I guess, the real the tangible why behind all of it. But so that's part of it. Anyways, Run Disney, thank you. Ooh, that was oof.
Yeah, I know.
It's tough. We'll talk about it after this. We'll have one more to get through.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, so my number one is Happily Ever After. Aww. I know that's been my number one on several different lists that we've done over the years. But it's just, I've no matter how many times I watch it, no matter who I'm with, whether I'm with, a romantic partner, whether I'm with best friends, my niece and nephew, it always, it feels different each time that I watch it, and special, and uniquely to who I'm with. And it also, there's this sense of very weird community when you're standing there watching it with about 1,000 people, right? Like you do sort of feel like a single unit for a minute. Every part of it, the music never ceases to give me chills. I never, even though like I'm anticipating, Merida shooting the arrow and it's shooting off a firework on the side.
I love that effect.
Oh my God. That to me might be better than Tinkerbell, but, it's the coolest thing. Like,
it is.
Like, but even Tinkerbell though, we always get excited every time we see her, fly over us at the end, and it's Happily Ever After is the message we need to look for right now.
Oof, boy, do we need it. I mean, we need a happily right now.
Yes,
kind of a show.
Happily, just happily today.
Yeah. A happily Sunday show or something. There's something. There are moments in your life where it's okay to be lost and forget for a while, and Happily Ever After is one of those moments.
Completely, right? Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's the one time where if you left the stove on, you're not worried about having left the stove on.
Yeah. And I mean, there's just some times, especially right now, where it's like, staying woke is so exhausting. I need to just watch Happily Ever After for 10 minutes and then return to wokeness. And
And then I'll stay woke.
Yeah, but I'm late tired. I'm just so tired. And I need Walt Disney's, kiss goodnight. Is that what they call it at the end of the night? The fireworks spectacular. I think they're called the kiss goodnight.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's just what they call it. It's like insider baseball in the parks is what they call it, the kiss goodnight. Anyways, and I just love that. I love that that's it. It truly is, and it's the perfect ending to a day is happily ever after.
It really is.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so I put this on here and then took it off and then put it on and took it off because I was just like, this is going to sound so cliche and so saccharine and so like, okay, Patrick, we get it. But I truly mean it, and I would be remiss. I ultimately decided I can't not put it on here, and I just, Gays Do the D is my number one thankful right now. In that, like, obviously, I love all of you guys, right? All the four of you, and doing the show, and so thankful that you all said yes to continuing this journey. When Adam stepped down from the show, I knew that I wasn't done with it, and I wanted to continue spreading these weekly or bi-weekly now episodes of joy out to the community. And the fact that you all jumped on without asking any questions, thank you for that. But I think more specifically, there are times in my life, here's where I get really emotional.
I'm already crying, so you're
fine. Where I feel like I could call it a day on the show and feel like we've done good work.
Sure.
And we've done what we wanted to do. And I could use some time back, I could use a couple hours back every other week in editing. And then I get a message from one of our listeners just saying, thank you. I needed this today. Mm-hmm. And I can't stop doing it. I don't.
Yeah.
There will be a point.
You really have me messed up. But
there will be a point sometime. Obviously, it's not today. Don't worry, everybody. We're not taking a break next week because of anything. We just needed a break.
Yeah.
But there will be a day where we likely need to come to an end to this. But that day isn't today, because after the election, so many people reached out with their gratitudes, and a lot of them were aimed at us. And so thank you. Whew, I'm going to have to edit all this out. Just kidding.
No.
But thank you to our Gays to the D community, all of our tweedles out there. I'm glad to know that we are bringing you joy and
completely
respite of some kind, and know that you do exactly the same for us here on the show. That you're why we do it. And I know that's cliche to say, and I know that everyone says it about their listeners and whatnot, but it couldn't be more true for us. We can chat on the phone if we wanted to, Kale and I, but we don't. We do this because we want to talk to all of you, and we love celebrating you, and we love listening to you.
He's absolutely right. And so Gays Do the D was on my list, and I took it off for two reasons. Because first of all, I was like, this is going to sound cliche and fake. And then I also was like, I don't know if I'd make it through it. And then it wasn't on my list, and it didn't sound cliche, but I still didn't make it through it.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. It's actually, I will argue. I mean, I had a ton of really close friends that are unrelated to the podcast that reached out after. But I can tell you, overwhelmingly, it was podcast listeners, friends that we've made through Gays Do the D, right? Yeah. That really were checking in and, expressing how they felt. And, when we get these messages from, young LGBTQ plus kids who are just looking for a safe space, and they found our podcast because they love Disney, and, they see themselves in us in a way or something, that to me is above and beyond anything I've ever felt in my life. Right. Somebody saying you turned my frown today upside down. I mean, that's just, I mean, I can't, there's no greater compliment. Right. And I think that's something we've never openly talked about this as a cast, right?
Sure.
Of hosts. But I think that, that's something that all four of us do strive for, right? We want to be people that we would have needed to hear growing up, right? And needed to witness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, all of you. Ooh, and thank you, Kale, for doing this episode with me. And I mean that truly. In that, here's the thing, and I don't mean that to make it sound like we're the brave ones here, but I truly mean this, that showing gratitude is an act of bravery, right? It is not easy to do for a lot of people, and it is a practice. And so thank you for practicing gratitude with me today and with all of our tweedles.
Yes, absolutely. Oi.
And to be clear, there's so much more out there to be grateful for, be thankful for. I know that it's harder to see right now, maybe, but that's okay. It still exists. And I want to remind everybody out there, I think this is why it was important for us to do this episode right now, right here, right now, is that you have to give yourself permission to find and feel joy right now.
Yep.
It is okay to feel joy right now. It still exists. It's still out there. It doesn't take away from any of the hardships that other people are going through and that you're going through. It does not mean that you don't care about any of that. It just means that life gave you all of the emotions and all of the ways to feel. So use all of them. Use them all whenever you can, especially joy.
Yes.
Oof. All right. Yeah. So send us your gratitude. Send us your thankful moments. Send us your moments of joy in the Disney parks. We absolutely want and need to hear them right now. So please, send them our way. You can do so by dipping into our Donna Murphys. Is that what we're calling them? Or our DMs, our Donna Murphys, at GDTD Podcast on Instagram. Or you can always send us a voice memo or an email at info@gazedothed.com. All right. I feel like I never need to watch beaches ever again because I just cried so much right now.
I know.
You know, another moment. I'm grateful for beaches, though. What a great movie.
I would be super grateful for a cheeseburger spring roll right now.
I'll have 2 next week while this is playing in people's ears.
That doesn't mean no good.
Well, yeah.
No good.
I'll send you pictures of me eating them.
I'm not grateful for my friends doing things without me.
Wow.
Get real.
Wow. I'm grateful for your honesty. Yeah, that's good.
Hey, Patrick.
What, Kale? What?
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
I like to mix it up sometimes. I like to mix it up every once in a while.
What?
I'm tired.
Your face even. His face, guys. Wow.
My face is perfect. Don't you dare. It was pretty wild.
I do have to say, your skin right now is glowing.
Is it? I got new lighting in my
so
basement.
smooth.
Thank you.
So it's not
definitely the lighting.
Okay. Never mind.
Literal smoke and mirrors are all
your lights are amazing.
Thank you so much. There's a mist machine that's actually fogging a little bit. It's really It's Pepper's ghost. This is an effect actually.
Oh, okay. Listen, do not.
I figured it out. I know how to do Pepper's Ghost now.
Yeah. I know how to do Pepper's Ghost, okay? I know how it works. I just don't know how that one part where it disappears and then comes back works.
What if one day on Zoom I did the effect for you and I just disappeared?
I would love. You mean the Pepper's Ghost, or do you reappear and then come back? Or do you disappear and then reappear?
Yeah.
Then I would need to know how you did it.
Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't tell you, obviously, but okay. Where are we? What's happening right now?
I have no idea. Are we ready for some quick D?
This mushroom coffee is clearly psychedelic mushrooms because I am in a place.
Well, it's the time.
I am microdosing. It's the new way forward.
Yes. Oi.
Hashtag we do not condone it, but if you do what you want to do, whatever gets you through
smoke
the day.
It if you got it.
Whatever gets you through the day. Okay, it's time. Are we just giving up now? You know what? Does it feel good?
You know
do
what?
it. I don't care.
Right.
All right, we have a quick D. Oh, well, you know what? It's from Stevachu, who was absent in our gratitude. Stevachu is clearly not gratitude about anything.
He said all attitude, no gratitude.
No gratitudes for you. Okay, Stevachu asks, I feel like we've answered this before, but maybe not you and I. Which Disney sidekick would you most like as your pal in real life? Just a sidekick specifically, though, so it can't be a main character. Do you know, I feel like I go back to this character a lot, but I think I'm going to go with Kronk as my pal in real life. What a good friend. Kronk's a good friend.
Kronk is a very good one.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. And I mean, like, I like looking at him as well. I feel like...
Yeah, absolutely.
Good job,
It's
Kronk.
The voice for me, honestly.
Patrick Warburton's voice.
Yes,
for Kronk specifically, though, is really... It's just like, ugh.
I don't know. I feel tingly even when I hear soar into tower. Like, I'm... like
fair. Something
for
happens.
real.
You're like...
Yes.
We do have liftoff, that's for sure.
They'll say, sir, and I'm like, it's just the yellow strap. I'm pulling the yellow strap. But...
Oh no!
We have
not the yellow strap.
I'm so sorry. I know. I'm so sorry. We have given up.
I'm obsessed with that. Okay, who's yours? Who's yours? We have to move on from that.
Okay, so I think mine would probably be Lottie, Charlotte from Princess and the Frog.
Okay.
Which is hysterical because I think I'm probably Lottie. So, but she would be my sidekick.
You are the Lottie, that's for sure.
Yeah, completely.
You're a Lottie, Kale. You're kind of a Lottie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a Lottie.
You don't like that?
I'm a Lottie.
You're kind of I feel like those two would also be really good friends, though. Kronk and Lottie.
Absolutely.
You know?
I mean, yeah. Like, I mean, they should do like an animated Home Alone where Lottie and Kronk are the robbers, right? They're Harry and Marv. Could you imagine?
That would be perfection.
It would be absolute perfection.
Would love that.
It's the crossover we deserve right now, to be honest.
It's true. Yeah, I would definitely pull on the yellow strap to that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. That is cracking on his That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussions. Continue the conversation after this episode on Instagram and Twitter at GDTD Podcast. Submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See you real soon. I sneezed a rainbow.